Thank you, Chancellor, for joining us today, and let me welcome you. In my 30 years of public service, whether in the Air Force or in various positions at 7 different public universities, I've always felt that access to higher education really is essential to assure the well-being not just of the individual, but also of our country and our society. My family immigrated to the United States in the late 1880s from Italy and taught us that access to the American dream really required education, and that's why I've been a firm proponent of the educational dream being part of what this country is all about. And as we all know, that difficulty to attain that education is sometimes intensified for the adult learner or for students who come from small rural school districts. So today I'm pleased to announce on behalf of the university 2 initiatives that we hope, as the Chancellor has mentioned, will help ensure access for these students. First, due to the work of many on this campus, but particularly under the leadership of our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. May, over there, we have the degree, Bachelor's in Interdisciplinary Studies. It will be introduced in the fall of 2013, and it will allow a student, a Texas resident, with an ACT score of 27 or better, transfer students having a 3.5 GPA, to be able to take a series of coursework in 3 different minors and allow them to look at a variety of interdisciplinary options and allow them to graduate in 4 years with a bachelor's degree for a cost of $10,000 or less for tuition and fees. All of the courses may be taken on campus, so the student is afforded the opportunities of a residential campus, and we believe that this is an innovative response to the challenge that the governor had issued back in 2011. The second initiative we signed a little while ago is with Roscoe Collegiate High School and Western Texas College, and under this agreement, students will take 2 years at Roscoe High School, followed by 2 years taught by the Western Texas College faculty at that campus, therefore earning an associate's degree. Students can then transfer to ASU and complete their final 2 years of education and earn a bachelor's degree. So by completing this sequence in 6 years rather than 8 years, students will save money and time while still ensuring a rigorous academic program of study. Many individuals on all 3 campuses participate in this initiative, but I wanted to recognize Dallas Swafford, and I don't know if she's here, hopefully she is, who is our transfer coordinator for all the work that she did in putting this together. So we remain firmly committed to access and affordability in higher education, and under the leadership of the Chancellor, we're going to continue to work with our other components in the system to enhance these and other opportunities. Now I'm honored to introduce to you a gentleman who has committed his entire adult life to public service in pursuit of a more prosperous Texas, and as we were talking about a little bit earlier, I wanted to acknowledge his role as a C-130 pilot with the 772nd Tactical Airlift Wing, and I invite him to my office where I have a great picture of an H model flying over Milwaukee from my old air wing, the 440th. So please join me in welcoming our Governor, Rick Perry.
65th anniversary today. So, Colonel, thank you for your service to our country and now to our state, obviously, and to, more importantly, to the students and the citizens of the state of Texas. And congratulations on that announcement that you just made. I would suggest to you, every day is a great day to be a Ram, but today is an exceptional day to be a Ram. So this institution is joining a notable, a growing community of institutions of higher learning across the state of Texas that have made the commitment to develop a degree for no more than $10,000. And of all the proposals that I've discussed, I don't think anything has gotten more attention, Kent, over the course of the last couple of years, from people who believed in it and people who didn't. We just had a great deal of interest in this, and that's good because I think it tells those of us in public service and decision makers that people have this intense interest in being able to further their lives by having access to a higher education opportunities. And it was, I guess it was nearly 2 years ago when I issued that challenge. And Brian, there were folks who, well, as a matter of fact, there were a whole bunch of people who insisted you can't do this. But then there were a whole bunch of people like you who said, yeah, we can. And I want to say thank you for the work that you've done and the culmination of that success today. And the early results are truly promising. We got 9 institutions in addition to ASU that have announced the plans for a $10,000 degree program. And see, this accomplishes 2 goals, and most importantly, it does provide that opportunity for students to earn a low-cost, high-quality degree that will get them where they want to go in their life. Secondly, it has people at the universities like ASU thinking hard about how to get this done. So we've learned to leverage technology. We utilize other very innovative techniques, figuring out how to educate more young people at a reasonable cost. And the lessons that our institutions will learn from this process, I think, will prove invaluable as we go forward. We were talking a little bit offline before we walked in just about this whole concept of how do we educate this mass of in our state, Texans. We got more young people that have made that decision to go to college than ever before, and especially in some populations who historically either thought, Drew, they couldn't go to school or it wasn't for them, or, they'd been told, oh, no, you can't go to college, because your parents didn't or your family didn't. I mean, we're reaching out to a group of young Texans. We've seen SAT test taking, the participation in the SATs skyrocketing, and particularly in certain 65% increase in our Hispanic students taking the SAT in the last 5 years, 42% increase in the African American population. I mean, that is such a powerful message all across this state about young people who are going, yes, I can. This is for me, and I can't afford it. And Angelo State's going to be one of those schools that is a recipient of those students, if you will, the recipient of the goodwill of putting this into place. Now, those are just those are extraordinary numbers. They're incredible numbers. And if there's a statistic for hope in this country, that's it. I mean, I'm pretty sure those kids didn't wake up and go, I'm going to go take the SAT because I don't have anything else to do on this Saturday. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're thinking. This is my chance. This is my opportunity to do something that my parents or my brother and sister were never able to do. And for all of you in the educational business, if you will, whether you're a high school teacher or a middle school teacher or you're an administrator, school board member, who are preparing those young people for that opportunity, thank you. You're changing lives. And in changing lives, you're changing the state. And I think that's, Drew, probably one of the reasons that you get up every day and do the things that you do as a state representative. So beyond our efforts, if you will, there's this growing realization among today's students that they're going to need more than a high school degree. And that's another underlying message that's out there. If you're going to compete in this global marketplace, you're going to need more than just that high school degree. So we got more and more Texans of all backgrounds that are stepping into the fray, if you will, to get that degree past high school. And we've got to do everything that we can to remove hurdles, whether they're conceptual hurdles or whether they're real hurdles, like the cost of going to school. Again, it's one of the reasons that I call for the freeze of tuition for a 4-year period of time. If you're a young lady fixing to go into one of the universities in the state of Texas, we want to give them the stability, the predictability. Here's what it's going to cost you for 4 years. You know this is what your tuition is going to cost you. It's not going to go up in the middle of this and you go, oh my goodness, how am I going to pay for this? This is what it is. Give them the ability to plan. And we also are putting some onus on the universities and saying, listen, we think it's important. We want these kids to get out in 4 years because we've got some abysmally low graduation rates. Less than 30% of our kids graduate in 4 years. And that's just unacceptable. We've got to get them out, get them into the workforce. And so not only to give them the predictability and to give them the incentive, if you will. Here's what it costs you in 4 years. You go in, you stay focused, you do your work. But we're also giving an incentive to the universities and a little punishment tied to that too, which is always, I think, pretty good. Here's 10% of your budget that you're going to be measured on. If you graduate kids in that 4-year period of time, then here's the money you're going to get. If you don't, guess what? You're not going to get that money. So, Hance has got a little bit of pressure on him, and President Rallo has got a little pressure on him as they go forward. And that's good. Give students certainty. The fact is the system can improve. And that's why we have put these programs into place. Implementing these measures will meet this growing demand that we have for higher education in a way that provides both encouragement and leveraging our state's dollars in I think, a far better way. So